The big question tonight are these reforms translating into tangible improvements in the lives of ordinary Nigerians? Is the economy on a sustainable path to recovery and inclusive growth? And what more should governments, businesses, and policymakers do to accelerate economic transformation? To help us answer these critical questions, we've been joined in the studio by Dr. Akintunde Emmanuel Ogushola, an economic and financial analyst whose insight will help us assess the current state of Nigerian economy, evaluate the impact of ongoing reforms, and examine the opportunities and challenges that lies ahead. Well, before we even get into the conversation, we'll take a look at a video where the Honorable Minister of Finance addressed the Nigerian Senate. Then we'll begin the conversation from there, please. Let's take the video.
We have seen the astronomical rise in borrowing. And this borrowing is of serious concern to Nigerians. What I'm saying is in the public domain, is not anything hidden. When this government came in, it inherited, I think, over 75 trillion naira. Now it has added almost 75 to 80 trillion naira in borrowing. And despite this, budget implementation is nowhere where we want it to be, as said by the Chief Whip of the Senate. We have not even started implementing the 2026 budget.
If we have exceeded the target of our revenue collection, it is inherently contradictory for government to woefully fail to implement the budget. Where are these revenue going to? If the budget, for example, 2025 budget has not been implemented, and we have to roll over 70% of 2025 to 2026, and that with the promise that 30% will be implemented before March. Up to March, even 30% was not implemented. National Assembly has to extend the lifespan of the budget up to September to allow government to implement just 30% component of 2025 budget. The issue of 2026 have not arisen completely.
When we get the approval of the National Assembly, the media would rightly report it. And many people take that as money borrowed. When we now borrow the money, they report it again. So, in fact, I think it was last year when the National Assembly approved about $20 billion, which was based on MTEF. So people add up big numbers as the money we have borrowed. And that is misleading in terms of the analysis. We're currently finalizing this breakdown in the Ministry of Finance. We'll make it available to the public. It will show how much the National Assembly approved and how much of that we have borrowed and how it has been spent. In addition to that...
But you have not exceeded what National Assembly has approved?
No, we haven't. Okay. In fact, we've not even taken half of what the National Assembly has approved.
Okay.
Well, to help us even answer these critical questions, like I told you, we have been joined by Dr. Akintunde Emmanuel Ogushola, an economist and financial analyst, and he will be helping us put this issue. It's a delight to have you join us, Dr. Emmanuel Akintunde Ogushola.
It's a pleasure. It's my pleasure to be with you.
Well, Doctor, a lot of questions are begging for answer. Let's even begin from the top of the conversation. You just finished watching the video.
Yeah.
Help us even understand 3 years into President Bola Ahmed Tinubu's administration, economic reforms have taken place, diverse economic reforms. But then the country still talks about borrowing. How do we correlate and begin to assess this administration so far using the economic metrics and the whole from a financial expert perspective? Help us understand how we can rate this government financially.
Yeah, thank you very much for that question. Now, talking about borrowing, you can't just jump into borrowing without going to the grassroots, the foundation of the borrowing. Now, at the beginning of every year, government draw out its own budget, its plan for the year, and said, okay, we want to construct 15 roads, we want to build 25 hospitals, we want to pay salaries, we want to do all that. They get them listed in a plan. And then that plan, that draws us back to the national planning. There's a national planning, and then they draw that plan that we want to do coastal road, we want to do Lokoja Abuja Expressway, Abuja Kaduna Kano Express. All those plans will be done. Now, those plans are now being costed and put in the budget. This administration has given us the highest budget in the history of Nigeria. They kept setting the record. This administration keeps setting the record of highest budget. Now, the question is, as we are setting targets of doing a lot of programs, setting benchmark, budget implementation indicators, the president submits this plan to the people, which is the National Assembly. And this National Assembly, they approve this budget. Not just approving the budget, they clap for Mr. President that he is doing very well and that this budget is budget of recovery. They give it that name. And then in that budget has spelled it out that this budget is a budget deficit. You know what budget deficit means? It means that our revenue is not enough to finance this budget.
Yeah.
We are going to borrow to the tune of 23 trillion to finance this budget. And National Assembly approved that government should go ahead. This budget is approved and then send it back to Mr. President. This is constitutional way of appropriation in Nigeria. So the National Assembly cannot wake up in the middle of the year and start crying that this borrowing is too much. But you approved that they should go ahead and borrow in the first place. Were you not aware from the beginning that they want to borrow from what they submitted to the National Assembly? It is at the process of budget defense. The process of doing the legislative actions on that appropriation. They're supposed to question and reduce this budget, but anytime this budget goes to National Assembly, the budget comes out increased. Isn't it? It always comes out increased. So National Assembly cannot be asking question now in the middle of what they have approved before, that why is the borrowing increased? Did they borrow out of what they have approved for them? No. It is what National Assembly has approved to be borrowed for the year that is being borrowed.
Well, Dr. Emmanuel, the government have continually argued that these painful reforms are necessary for long-term economic stability. And we've seen all of this from fuel subsidy removal to a lot of policy, economic reforms initiated by the government. In 3 years, at what point should Nigerians begin to experience measurable improvement in their standard of living?
At what point? Okay, thank you very much. Now, measuring standard of living of Nigerians is just that maybe, thank God the records are there. We quickly forget the records, but we'll be reminding Nigerians so that they get to know that things are actually getting better. When Mr. President says subsidy was gone, a bag of rice rose to about 120,000 naira for one bag of rice. Today, how much is a bag of rice? It's now 56,000, 50,000, 52,000. It has dropped. So, Mr. President, when he said subsidy will go, he said the subsidy was not sustainable. Everybody agreed that Nigeria can no longer sustain a subsidy of about 7 trillion in a year because it's already gulping our revenue. And then we already have revenue shortages also along the line. And everybody accepted. We say we are going to endure this painful decision that there will be light at the end of the tunnel. And Mr. President took that decision. We tried to bring up palliatives to cushion the effect of subsidy removal and all that. But fast forward from 2023 to now, we will know that there is improvement.
In what regards?
Very good.
All right.
Minimum wage has been increased from 30,000 to 70,000.
Don't also forget that it has increased for persons that are within the civil service framework and not necessarily those in the private sector.
The same thing, even the private sector, they have increased.
it-
Do you
it
know
don't-
why private sector
Alright.
increased? Private sector had to increase because the cost of transportation of their staff has gone up. So what they are paying them before will come. In fact, it's only transportation that will take.
So
it.
you're saying at this point
So
that
even the private
everybody in the
sector-
labor market right now, everybody employed, gainfully employed in the country have received some form of increment
Yes.
when it has to do with their salary.
Yes,
That's what you're
absolutely,
saying.
absolutely. Everybody have received some form of increment in their salary from 20, and that was 2024.
A lot of Nigerians will disagree with you on that. That the private sector did not experience the dividends
have.
of the subsidy removal of the whole minimum wage increment. But let me allow you to go
Now,
ahead.
the argument, they have received the increment, but the argument should be, what is the value or the level of the increment? Is it commensurate with what they are feeling on the streets? That should be the question. They have actually received increment. Sure. No doubt about that. Everybody cried and said, Oga, this money you are paying is too small. You cannot even cover our transport. Transport now is now, times 3 or times 4. So, and every boss will listen because you cannot be collecting your salary and be using it to finance only transport. So everybody have received increment one way or the other. But the question is that increment, commensurate? Can it actually take care of their problems? That should be the question. Because of the way the prices of food and other things, transport, energy, and so many things has gone up. So that increment was swallowed by the effect of the economy.
So it's as good as no increment at all.
No, you can't say no increment.
So if you
There is increment.
you increase the minimum wage,
Yeah.
and it does not completely trickle down to improve the living standard of an average Nigeria, does the increment have any value?
Now, it's a gradual thing. The president thought
3
it
years,
wise.
3 years after
No, it's not 3 years. The increment was done in 2024.
2024.
Yes.
And we're trying to have
So
an
it's just
outlook
2
of
years
the
after.
economy. Okay, 2 years after.
Now, when Mr. President did that increment, what happened was that he saw a drastic increase in the price of things too. Also, the way the salary increased, that's the way the prices of goods and services also jumped up alongside with it. And that was the problem. And then Mr. President is now looking for how to boost supply in order to see that these prices drop. And we recorded some drop in the prices of food. There is drop in the price of rice in the last 3 years. There is a drop in the price of meat. There is drop in the price of egg. There is drop in so many prices. And it is these prices that actually determines our inflation rate. So it is not as if the inflation rate was calculated out of the blues. They take statistics of prices of commodities at various, local governments in Nigeria for us to determine, okay, maybe there is an inflation or there is a deflation.
Well, Dr. Manuel, recently, the Nigerian currency, 50 naira, 100 naira, 200 naira, it's as if it's going into extinction. Right now, literally, we don't get to see 20 naira. 20 naira has become a natural resources, a scarce commodity. 10 naira is nowhere to be found. 5 naira, it's almost an imaginary thought. With all this put together, where the currency are scarce or perceived to be scarce, where does this leave us when it has to do with our national currencies?
Yeah, that doesn't give us a good light. Our currencies need to be of value. They need to be useful. They need to be tenable because they are legal tenders. For the 20 nairas and the 10 nairas, in fact, I have some in my bag. It's right there in my
Does
car.
it still have value?
Now, the question is, does it have value? Yes, it has some little value.
Because last time I checked, even to buy
Sachet
things,
water.
it has skyrocketed.
Sachet water, they say one is 50 naira,
Yeah.
right?
In some place, in a part of the country at least, even one goes for 100 naira. In some part of the country, so
Yeah.
it is that terrible.
You go to my
the price dwindles, so it's really cause for concern. When you say you have 10 naira in your bag, does it commensurate with current reality? Can they afford anything right now in the country?
Now, yes, it can. It can afford to buy some.
it?
You still need those small denominations for change.
What do you mean by change?
Now, if you buy something of 120 naira, won't you collect change of 30 naira if you have 150? Where would they get the 20 naira and the 10 naira? You need them to be used as change.
These days we forfeit.
So when you go to superstore,
these days a lot of Nigerians forfeit the change.
you see that they are not suffering.
Even the superstores that will tell you that they don't even have it.
If you can forfeit
The
30
supermarkets
naira,
don't have it, and they will tell you to pick one item in order to replace it. This is the current reality. You can find out from Nigerians. I can even say that because you're a financial analyst, that's why you carry those denominations.
No.
Perhaps if you're
It's
outside
not
that
because-
space, you will share in all of this
no,
reality.
it's not because of that. I was giving that money as change from a superstore. It was change I collected. I went to buy something and they gave me change, 20 naira and 10
They
naira.
were really kind to you.
In fact, they gave me the 20 naira like 5 cents. It's like they didn't have 200 naira denomination. They gave me 200 naira, 20 naira. That's how I got the 20 naira.
Otherwise, you would have relied on the central bank to be
So
able to get that.
they still use it for change.
So let's even move on and talk about the central bank recent monetary policy rate, the MPR. Well, it has retained this 26.5% for another consecutive meeting, citing inflation risk and also global economic uncertainties.
Yeah.
Was this the right decision, or has monetary tightening reached its limits right now?
That was the best decision that the central bank just took. In taking decision, you don't just look at the past. You also look at the future. We need to control the amount of money in circulation because it's alarming already. We have over 4.7 trillion naira in circulation, which is not out. That's when I mean in circulation, that is out of the banking sector. This is cash now in the hand of people. We need to control the level of cash in circulation. And the central banks uses the MPR to rein in the cash.
But Doctor, commercial lending rates are now well above the MPR.
Do you know why
making credit increasingly expensive for businesses? And you're saying it is the best decision.
Yes, because these are tools they use in controlling money in circulation to discourage borrowing at this time so that people don't borrow. Do you know why? We are already in an election season where a lot of money will be in circulation. So the central bank needs to retain that. I'm sure even by September, they may shift a little, maybe to 27 or 28%, in order to, make this cash that is outside the banking sector to come in, to rein in the cash, because they need to control the volume of cash outside the banking sector.
You don't think at this point the CBN's anti-inflation strategy is unintentionally slowing down investment and job creation? I just told you that commercial lending rates are now way above the MPR. You're saying it is the best decision.
Yeah, it is.
Is this not an unintentional? This strategy not unintentionally slowing down the investment and job creation?
I just told you the reason why we need to slow it down. That there is a lot of money.
So 140 million Nigerians are complaining that they are living below the poverty line, and you're saying it's the best decision.
Yes, we are talking about cash. We are not talking about
because everything will trickle down. Everything will trickle down.
Yeah.
If there are no jobs, and there's no cash in circulation, of course, a lot of bureau de change will bank on all of this to be able to survive. Now, if this whole policy is being put in place, won't it affect first job creation, then also investment as it stands?
It doesn't really affect job creation. What's our unemployment rate? Is it going up? It's not going up. It's being sustained as well. Unemployment rate is sustained as the MPR is also sustained. We need to control the level of money in circulation. I can keep re-emphasizing on that. Because at this time, this is election season. We already have a lot of money outside the banking sector as a result of elections, campaigns that are out there. How many political parties, they have a lot of money to spend. We are going to be starting campaigns by August. A lot of money will be spent and be in circulation. So people that want to invest, they will get money from this campaign money that will be flying around. The people that are in the printing press business, this is their season. They are cashing in, they are making money. And then you are saying that there's no job. People are getting contract to print t-shirts, face cap, umbrella, buy brooms, buy torchlights, buy all this logo and all that. They are getting money from renting of venue for campaign all over the nation. And you are saying that there's no job? People are gathering. And that gathering is a form of a business for people. They are selling water, selling coke, mineral, everything. The business is moving. You are saying that there is no job? This is, in our country, remember, we are trying to encourage our youth to be entrepreneurial, to go into business. We are not encouraging our youth, gone are the days that will be encouraging our youth to bring out their CV to go and look for a job. And that was what led to our first lady advising the youth to go and start Akara and Akara, Kuli Kuli and the rest, start the business. Because the government wants to encourage our youth to be entrepreneurial, to do business. That is what China, that is the engine room of China's economy being boosted. It is SME. We want to encourage our youth to register businesses, register company, and begin to do business. Identify opportunity and make money from opportunities around you. Produce something from your farm. This is raining season. People are in the farm now. Very soon, in fact, some part of the country, they are harvesting corn. They are selling corn. They are harvesting granite. These are business opportunities. We want our youth to be entrepreneurial, and then they should drift away from looking for a job with CV.
But for as many youth, you've talked about the youth, as many youth are looking for job that are trying to even get into the entrepreneurial space. At what point can we realistically expect the interest rates to begin to decline? Because in Nigeria, it is believed that what goes up will likely not come down. So at what point do we now realistically expect the interest rate to begin to dwindle?
Interest rates will not go down till next year. That is just the truth. Interest rates will not go down till after we finish our election. This is election season. A lot of money will be flying around. Businesses will be flying around. So people are getting contracts, supply shoes, supply food for agents, supply this. All manner of businesses are flying around here and there. So a lot of money will be rotating from now till ending of February.
Well, Dr. Emmanuel, manufacturers have argued otherwise. Well, a lot of manufacturers have argued that borrowing costs are discouraging expansion right now. And of course, but then how can Nigeria grow its industrial base when the cost of capital remains elevated right now?
Okay, that is your own review. My own fact check on the ground. I went into the market. I asked our brothers, our Igbo brothers, how are you coping with this high cost of doing business? You know what they said? They said it is now that they are making money. That when they buy something expensive, they will sell it higher than now. You know, they cannot make loss. They are not closing down their business. People are still buying some of these things that they are selling. So business is still moving. For the manufacturers, they are also manufacturing. Yes, the cost of borrowing may be high, yet they are still borrowing. It was even higher than 26%. I think around 2024, it was even at 28%. We were shouting that this interest rate has become so high that it needs to come down. But even yet at that, manufacturers are still borrowing, and they are still selling at a competitive price with the people that are importing.
Well, are we supposed to be having all of this back and forth with the interest rate, knowing fully well that our foreign reserve, external reserve, have reportedly increased to about $52.5 billion right now? Shouldn't this even trickle down to the Nigerian economy and be able to comb all of these excesses?
Just like I said, we have a lot of money in circulation. You are not seeing it. Just some few weeks ago, FAC allocation was shared, the highest ever FAC allocation in Nigeria, 2.55 trillion naira. This money is shared between the state government, local government, and the federal government. These monies are out there. The states are now awarding contracts to contractors. They are building bridges, all manner of contracts going on. A lot of money in circulation. So that is why we are encouraging our youth that don't just look for a job with CV. There are opportunities out there. There is money flying in the Nigerian economy. The state governments have received the highest allocation ever. That is apart from their IGR that they are also collecting. So the CBN monetary policy rate is a tool that they use in balancing between the fiscal and the monetary policy. As the fiscal policy, they are rolling out monies, they are borrowing and all that. Taxes have gone up, you know, people are paying taxes. The monetary policy is there also to balance the fiscal policy decisions so that it will not weigh, you know, one side. So you are looking at it only from one side, but the central bank looks at it not just from the angle of borrowing and all that. They also look at it from how much money are we rolling out to circulation. FARC is also sharing a lot of money to the states. A lot of money out there. They are doing contracts. State governments are trying to complete projects. They want to commission.
Well, Dr. Emmanuel, you've talked about money in circulation. Money is flying around the country.
Yeah.
A lot of Nigerians will ask at this point, is it that they are not seeing the money? Or you're talking about some form of invisible money somewhere? I'm curious. Because you've talked about a lot of money flying, and you've repeatedly said money flies in.
But I've given you facts, and you accept my facts.
I'm not here to accept facts. My job is to put the record straight. Because if the monies are flying and Nigerians are complaining, are we missing something here?
Probably these monies are being kept by some persons. These monies are in the
But
hands of
you've said that the monies are flying.
Yes.
And Nigerians
are out there. They are out of
complaining.
They are out of the banking sector.
A lot of Nigerians are living in almost abject poverty.
Yes.
77 million Nigerians, at the last check, from the northern part of Nigeria right now are living in penury. 140 million Nigerians, and you said the money is in circulation, money is flying. Excuse me, where is the money flying from? Where is it going to? How come average Nigerian is not feeling the impact of the flying money?
You know the mentality in Nigeria. Government before now, past governments, they usually share money through humanitarian affairs. They will go and say they are sharing 20,000, they are sharing market women money. The people are getting free money. And those free money are no longer there. That's why they are crying. Before money comes to you, you must work for it. It's not only in Nigeria. When you go to UK, you must work. If you don't work, you will not eat. Even it's there in the Bible, it says, let anybody that did not work, let him not eat. So if the money is flying out there, you have to work for it, for that money to come to you. You cannot sit down in your house and then you say, they say money is flying out. The thing never fly, reach my pocket. So the money will just fly and disappear inside your hand. You will not go and work. You will not be innovative. You will not be creative for you to get the money. So we are trying, that's why I say we are trying to encourage our youth, not to sit down and say they are trekking up and down with CV, looking for job. Nigeria has drifted from that. Nigeria now is in the era of entrepreneurship, where our youth have to be creative. Our youth are going into the tech industry. They are creating apps. They are building websites. They are solving problems. They are doing a lot of things, and they are being paid heavily for that. So when I mean that money is flying out there, I'm not saying that money will just fly into people's pockets without working for it.
Perhaps you're talking about miracle money.
I don't know miracle money. The kind of money I know is that you work and then you earn. But if they are sitting down and they are begging on the street, say, please give us money, they want the money to fly inside their pocket. Is it done? And even in America, money don't fly to people's pocket.
A lot of Nigerian youths will say at this point that they've lost quite a number of jobs under this administration. That the number of unemployment have skyrocketed. That, as a matter of fact, even the government jobs are no longer available for Nigerians. Help us even marry this together. Are there jobs and Nigerian youth are not willing to work? Or is this assertion by the assertion by Nigerian youth that there are no jobs is correct? Help us even understand it.
Very good. This job issue has been tackled. Our population is fast growing. In fact, our population will soon get to 200 million. Our population is growing and the jobs are not there. The same thing is happening in China. China has the largest population in the world. They are not government workers. They are industry workers. They are factory workers. They are producers. So if our youth are still in the era of, I've graduated, I want to work in the ministry of this and that, or so agency, then they are still living in the past. Several times the government has turned out, in fact, now government is even, if you go to Ministry of Youth, there are a lot of programs that say, okay, come with a business plan, we are ready to borrow you money. There are microfinance banks out there I think we have over 1,000 microfinance banks in Nigeria that are looking for people that have beautiful ideas. They will give them money to go and start up a business. But nobody is doing that. Rather, they are carrying their CV. They are saying that, please employ me. And that is why they are crying of poverty. But if our youth are being trained, okay, take 200,000 as a loan, begin to sell so thing. Look at our population is already a market. And that's why I keep hammering that Nigeria has drifted from the era of employing people to create employment for themselves or for other people.
Are we actually ready for that conversation as a country?
We are. We should be ready. Because
well, as it stands right now, are we ready for that conversation?
We have to be ready.
Do we have the enabling environment that we can say, if we want to venture into any business, one will come out successfully because all the modalities and the structures are already in place. Are we ready for that conversation?
Yes, we are. We are ready.
Do we have enough power supply that can sustain even the whole tech space? Do we have enough internet provision?
We don't have power supply, but we have alternative. We have solar.
So
we have sun.
If you have the sun, how much is a solar panel? How much is the inverter?
Take a loan and get a solar, power for yourself.
A lot of youth are saying that they cannot access the loan. That's the challenge.
They can access it.
Well, help us understand
how microfinance banks.
A lot of youth have complained. Majority of them have sat down on the same seat that you're sitting right now, and have echoed the same thing, that they don't have access to funds. Now the funds are for selected individuals, more of an aristocratic system where only a few get to benefit. But help us understand that. You've talked about the fact that the youths can engage, but they've said that there are no enabling environments. Are the environment conducive for an average Nigerian youth to venture into a business space right now?
The environment
is ready for that conversation.
Very, very conducive. Probably they lack idea. And that is why they are still saying that, we don't have access. Sir, if you have an OPay account, every day OPay will even be sending you a message that you can borrow money now. You didn't apply for it, they are begging you, say, on OPay, we can, with your credit and all that, the transaction you have been doing, we can borrow you 500,000 on OPay. We can borrow you 200,000. You pay back with interest.
Well, let's not assume that Dr. Emmanuel has
it's not an assumption.
Is advertising for the digital bank, but
I only give you a very close example.
We have to call OPay to come sort that bill out, but it's okay. Please go ahead.
So
that was just a lighter note.
Yes, because you say they keep saying that the environment, they lack access to fund. I have to mention one source that is very close to the people that they can get fund. All these microfinance banks, cooperative societies, they are looking for credit-worthy people that they can give loan to for them to start up a business. The environment is very, very good to do business. Are you saying that because America is bombing Iran now, they are not doing business in Iran? They are still doing business. So, business opportunity is about harnessing the opportunities that are within your environment and take advantage of it for financial gains. It's not necessary that, they have to come and give you everything. Sometimes you just wake up with an idea, and then that idea springs up into a lot of money.
Again, there's a part of that conversation that says that Dr. Emmanuel is because you are having this opinion because you have not traveled the 6 geopolitical zones of Nigeria.
I have.
And perhaps you've not stayed in remote communities in the country.
I have.
Now, a lot of youths that stay within the remotest part of the country have fantastic ideas and they want to dive into business. But then, can they access funds even with the current realities of the country?
They can access funds.
With people in Borno, Gombe.
They can access funds. The problem they have is that they want to start big. So they are looking for 5 million loan. They are looking for 10 million loan. Why don't you start small? Start that business with 1 bag of rice and be selling in modules.
So if the tools,
and then your business grows from there. Dangote started very small.
If the tools that are needed for that business is what 5 million, you're saying it shouldn't start.
The tools for the business.
Perhaps the tools needed for that business.
You have to look inwards.
Let's get to the tech space, for example, software engineers. You need a laptop to start their whole venture. And a laptop right now, a good laptop for that matter, is approximately 300,000+ naira.
Now,
And it needs a constant internet to be able to run.
List everything you need.
No, I'm just giving you a typical example.
Yes.
You're talking about, I'm talking about the tools.
Yes, tools. I know.
That are needed for the business.
Yes.
If it is worth 5 million, you're saying they should start from somewhere else.
Okay.
Is that what you're saying?
Now, people that have such ideas, they need to sit down with a business development, person. You can't just list tools for me. Expenses. This is what I need. I need 5 million to start this business. The question I'll ask you is, if I give you 5 million now to buy these tools, at what point will you start paying back that money? They don't plan for revenue inflows from that business. They only look at it from the angle of, I need laptop, I need light, I need this. Okay, if you are giving all these things, can you make that 5 million back within 6 months? Have you asked them that kind of question? So some of them, they give them these things, they give them all the tools, and they're unable to pay back the loan. So what they need to do is not to look at the tools, is to draw a very good, fantastic business plan. And then analyze. You don't just sit down in your head and say, I need 5 million, I need to buy a laptop, you are looking at the expenses. Now the question I ask you, once you are giving that laptop and the internet, how much can you make from that thing every month? Then you now tell me that, okay, if I can make like 200,000 every month, within the next 2 years, I'll pay you back the 5 million. You must come up with a strategy, a plan for you to pay back the money. And that is why they throw most of their ideas out of the room. Because your idea is only talking about what you need. You are not telling me how your idea will profit me. If your idea will profit me, you say you need 5 million to start a business, to buy a laptop and all those things. And I'll tell you that if I partner with you now, I'm not even giving you loan. Let's do partnership. This your business is fantastic. I'll give you a laptop. I'll give you this and that. Now, at the end of the first 3 months, how much will you give me back? That is the question they need to answer. It is not about giving you these things.
So you're saying invariably that pointing to President Bola Ahmed Tinubu as the cause of many Nigerians' misfortune is the wrong step in the wrong direction.
It is not the wrong step. I feel that the president is trying to redirect the country on a path of sustainable growth, in the sense that we need to reorient ourselves. That begging for a job and taking salary is not what will boost our economy. It is about entrepreneurship. That is the path that China took. That is the path that India took. These are the countries that have population. We are the largest black population in the world. Let us also join the queue of entrepreneurship. We have a population. Our population is a market on its own. We don't need to go and be importing things from outside to come and be consuming here. And that is why another presidential candidate is saying that let us be a producing nation and not a consuming nation. So that let us even be producing what we are consuming. And then you will see that people will be gainfully employed. Our population is a market. So let us all be producing something to ourselves. We now have opportunity of Africa Free Trade Agreement. We can even export to other countries without paying duties. The opportunities are there. Mr. President is trying to reorient our youth, that if we continue on the trajectory of our youth go to school and come out and begin to look for job with CV, and our population is growing, where no office in Nigeria, government office cannot employ all of them, because the population, except they will continue to create ministry that are irrelevant, and in the name of you want to create employment. Why don't we channel our youth orientation, that when they go to school, they should start producing something, they should be entrepreneurial. They should produce something that somebody in Ghana will come and buy. That is what Mr. President wants. That's what led to our mama saying that they should start Akara business, because they want our youth to be entrepreneurial and drift away from that mentality of, let me go and look for a job.
Well, Dr. Emmanuel, a lot of Nigerian youth again will say that the fact that a part of the country is being marred by insecurity will not give them the access to be able to do what they want to do because of insecurity. The president have not been able to fix insecurity in part of the country.
Okay.
Help us even look at these issues again, and let's even help Nigerians to have a better understanding. In the face of insecurity, where the president have not been able to fix, education-wise, entrepreneur has not become the basic for graduation. There are no foundation for the graduates to even come out from university to venture into. In all of this reality, are we ready to have a conversation as a people that Nigerian can toward that path of self-sufficiency?
Okay, thank you very much. These are the common excuses that we hear.
You think it's an excuse?
It's the common excuses. No, for me, I take it as excuses. Yes, they are genuine, or they may be genuine. That yes, if you go into the bush now to go and farm, you may be kidnapped, or maybe there's one chance somewhere, or maybe there's armed robbery attack and all sort of Boko Haram, bandits, and all sort of insecurity in Nigeria. Yes, insecurity is there. We cannot take it away. Insecurity did not start in 2023. Insecurity did not start in 2015. Insecurity did not start in 2010. Insecurity has been there. The only thing is that the insecurity has been growing, and successive governments have been unable to tackle this insecurity. And Mr. President is doing his best now to bring an idea that we niche insecurity from the bottom, which is the state policing. And that is why you see that he's struggling to see that he achieved this thing before the end of his first term. That once we have state police combining with the local vigilantes in all the states, we are going to begin to record some level of peace. So it's not as if the president is sleeping, he's not doing anything concerning the insecurity. We are seeing what he's doing. State police is the way. Everybody have agreed. Even the Senate, they say yes, that once we have state police, that the policemen will know the nooks and crannies of the state. The state government can decide to increase the number of personnel of police. It will be a state affair. We'll be able to niche insecurity at the bottom. So Mr. President is on the matter. He's not sleeping. And then we continue to pray for him, our leaders, to see that this insecurity is, is turned to a thing of the past.
For a lot of Nigerians, say you're holding brief for the president tonight, but it's okay. See, you are.
I'm not holding brief for president. In fact,
we just needed to put that on the record that you're not a card member of the.
I'm not a member of any political party, but I'm just saying these are the things that government is doing.
Akintunde Emmanuel, before I let you go, so far so good. Looking at the president, the current administration, in the last 3 years, economically wise, if we were to put this government on a scale of 1 to 10 in terms of performance and deliverables, where do you stand in, or what will you rate the government as in the scale of 1 to 10?
I'll put it on 6.
So far,
60%.
Well, it is your grading, and of course, it's your thought. It's a good way to say thank you so much for coming on the show, Dr. Akintunde Emmanuel Ogunshola.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for honoring our invitation.
Thank you.
This is how far we can go tonight on Korero. Do not forget that you can leave your thoughts, you can leave your comment on our various social media handle currently showing on your screen. And you can also download the Rapid TV app from your Android and iOS devices to keep track of our broadcast. My name is Godwin Sunday. Always remember that peace and unity are the pathways to progress. Do enjoy the rest of your night rest. Bye-bye for now.